closer to the top. As a father of 3 and a full-time college student, on top of work, I've felt a lot of stress and anxiety lately. Recently, I began feeling the weight of these seemingly ever-growing responsibilities and decided I needed to pray for guidance and relief. I asked the Lord for comfort through the approaching semester and for Him to reveal to me a way to better recognize my blessings and the opportunity to carry these responsibilities. Around this time, I traveled with my beautiful family across the country to the state of Utah. One day while we were there, we went to see Bridal Veil Falls in Provo. On arrival, we marveled at the sheer volume of water cascading over the cliff hundreds of feet up. Upon closer inspection, it was made clear that 4 smaller falls, one after another, made up what appeared from a short distance to be one large fall, each one with a small pool of crystal clear, cold, snowy mountain water which flowed over to form the next. I observed this with my 2 oldest kids, Connor and Natalie, when Connor asked, "Can we go swim in that one?" asking about the first pool from the bottom, the largest of the 4. After some quick mental planning and briefing the children on my plan, we started on our journey against their mom's judgment. We traveled up the near vertical rocky terrain about 30 meters in ice-cold, hand and feet numbing water. We stopped on a log, took a breath, and I asked Connor and Natalie, "Do you still want to go to the top?" My oldest daughter, Natalie, asked, "Is it right around that?" pointing at a small bend in the water, blinding us from the rest of the fall. I snickered a little and responded, "No, not quite. We'll have to repeat what we just did about 4 more times before we get to that first pool. But I will warn you, it will only get harder as we continue." I watched the contemplation on their faces as they considered their options. Option 1, we go back down and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Option 2, we continue, challenge ourselves, make core memories, and enjoy an even more expansive view of the mountains and valleys around us. With a little bit of fatherly encouragement, they chose the latter. We shook off the chill, said a prayer, asking for safety and guidance, and we continued up around the bend. There were chilling, shaded passings where you had no choice but to be drenched by the aggressive flow, and dry, sunny patches where the water ran under the scalding rocks. Approaching the top, the water crashing down the mountain got louder, making it hard for the children, mere feet ahead, to hear my instructions. As we drew nearer, there was a section of loose, slippery rocks where each failed step sent a rock tumbling down the mountainside, shrinking out of sight. Natalie, my oldest, turns back and yells something at me. I couldn't make out what she said, but due to the situation, I figured she was scared and needed my help. I approached slowly, but as fast and safely as possible. She turned to face me again, only instead of a frightened expression, Natalie's face was gleaming with enthusiasm and excitement. She said to me, "This part is the hardest, but I love it because we're closer to the top when it's steep." Observing that we were making the most progress when we climbed the higher gradient towards our goals, I picture a tall pyramid where to reach the top. You can take the long ramp or you can scale the side. We powered through. At the top, we enjoyed a few photos and the breathtaking view of the surrounding mountainsides. Then nearly immediately began our descent to escape the cuttingly cold mist and overwhelming noise. Her statement rang through my head. This was the answer to my prayer, the reasoning that I needed in order to find comfort and blessings in my trials. Although I have been climbing a high gradient balancing being a husband, a young father of 3, and working hard labor full-time, I was approaching a vertical cliff with slippery, wet climbing holds. As frightening as this may feel, I have now been able to say, at least I get to take the most progressive and rewarding path to my goals.